All right, thanks for you all for coming tonight, and want to welcome you for the Wareham Zoning Board of Appeal for tonight. Meeting Wednesday, December 28, 2022. It is 6:30 p.m. and we are at room 320 at the Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. I'm going to call the meeting to order. I make a roll call. My far right, Associate Member Mr. Troy Larson, our clerk Jim Akabachi to my right, my left, regular member Mr. Richard Sample. Also, we have regular member Mr. Morrison on Zoom.
Yep, I'm on Zoom. I'm here.
Is Veronica on yet? I guess she's not.
John, do we have
And
Veronica?
Mr. Ken Buckland, our town planner, is also, let me send her a link, is also on Zoom. So, we're gonna do some quick business. The meetings, the minutes for 12/14/2022. How's the board feel about it?
Reviewed, and I'm willing to sign them if you guys are in favor.
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
Okay, motion by Jim. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Jim. All in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose, abstain. So minutes are on.
Jake said
Jake, you're
aye.
on, so 500. Okay. Is Veronica on yet? All right, let's go to Mr. Dave Sergi, 8 and 10 Charles Pond Road, minor modification. Yeah, sure. Please come forward. Okay, council name and address, please.
Sure. Attorney Jillian Morton, 184 Main Street.
Okay, so
Do we
what's
have
the
a
deal?
plan? Do we have to have, do we have the plans, or do you have the plans?
I did send them over to the planning
I
office.
saw them
Okay.
online. but
It's in our folders.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's a little narrative of what's happening, just a minor modification in our eyes with 2 sections. I don't know if Ken can pull up the plan, if he has access to that, but you should have it in front of you. 2 spots on this is the approved, we're moving D&J Enterprises over to Charge Pond Road, went through site plan review and got a variance. 2 sections in the plan he's looking to change, to have proposed gravel, kind of a turning around area. Obviously, he's a landscaping company that has trailers, equipment, so allowing for that ease. On the original plan you had, I believe that was just lawn. It's quite a bit of space to the tree line, so it's flanking both sides of where that parking is. So you should be able to see on there, it's notated, proposed gravel parking
Where's Charles
turnaround
Pond?
area. So 2 spots.
Where's Charles Pond Road?
Judge Pond Road would be here.
Why didn't he do it from beginning with the site plan?
I don't know, I think it was a change, I mean, he isn't here really to describe his business, but I know moving those trucks around, you can see how the parking spots, it wouldn't really allow for ease of access, and I think instead of paving everything, making it gravel is gonna be easier. So we were told to come in.
I don't
went
know,
to
we'll ask the
commissioner.
board. What do you think, Troy?
I don't really see any big issue with it.
Jimmy?
I'm okay with it, depending on how it's gonna be done. My only reservation would be I'd want more specifics, you know, are they gonna put down one of those grids and then fill it with stone?
Okay.
And then, you
Like
know,
the impervious?
yeah, you know how the best, have you been over to the new elementary school?
Yes, I have.
You have kids there, don't you? So you know how they have the part that goes up from the lower parking lot?
Yes, that's the impervious.
That's, if he's
Like
gonna do it like,
grass.
if he's gonna do it like that,
Okay.
because he's gonna drive on it, he's gonna park trailers on it, but
Yeah.
it's still gonna look lawny. It's
Okay.
still gonna look like a lawn by doing that, and that keeps it from eroding and all that. So if he's gonna do it like that, move on.
I personally am not in favor of that without a major modification. That's a big area. We have to see the impervious, the lot coverage. I mean, given 5% extra, I have no problem for a variance. But that looks a lot more than 5% in the impervious area. And I mean, they just did the plan, they're in business, so they know what they need for a space. The engineer should know. I understand if they come in a year later, say, oh, we're running out of space, but right off the back, I'm personally, I mean, if the board's fine, I'm uncomfortable with it. Richard?
Well, I do understand that all of a sudden you realize that you need more room sometimes before you get started. I mean, that's pretty much, I can't hold his feet to the fire on that. I think I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Again, just a bit of a review for it, of what's going in there, but I can't imagine it being too bad.
Okay. Jake, what do you think?
Nazi, I kind of agree with you. I'm not really in favor of that.
Veronica?
I'd like to hear more.
There's nothing more. Anyone on the public want to speak about it? Who you want to hear from, counselor or board member?
The counselor.
Okay, sure.
I'm sorry. Honestly, I was a little bit delayed, so I missed exactly. I heard about the trailer being on the lawn and stuff. I'm not clear on
All
it
right,
exactly.
so let Troy sit on this one, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Troy will sit. So I guess they only need 3 out of 5. You only need simple majority. So on that matter, somebody want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll move to allow the minor modification, provided that some formal plan is provided to the folder, showing how it's going to be done.
And so the material?
The material, yeah, the cross-section.
Okay, do I have a second on Jim's motion?
I second that.
Richard, all in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose? Aye. Right?
Aye.
Okay, abstain. So 3, 2, 0. It carries.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna...
3-2?
3, 2, 0.
Okay.
That carries.
I thought Jake said aye.
Aye
Against.
to oppose.
To oppose.
Who was opposed?
Me and Jake.
Oh, I thought Jake was, okay, so 3.
All right.
No, I was opposed.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, thank you, Jake. So,
3-2-0.
all right, we're gonna... I know Veronica wants to get off quick, so we're gonna do the 2 things, the continued that she set on. So I wanna table 29-22 because the councilor's here anyway. So we're gonna go to 40-22, Kashal Balt, 47 Sandwich Road. Okay, Veronica, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna need your name and address for the record. Public hearing still open.
James Cowett, 83 Sandwich Road, Wareham.
All right, so I guess these are the plans for 1 bedroom.
Correct. Reflecting what the board had requested, the ADA bathrooms, and reducing the bedroom count to 1 bedroom per unit. The first floor, the first page is how it would lay out with the furnishings. The second is the floor plan.
All right, anyone in the public want to speak on this matter? The gentleman was here last time. He's not here. Veronica, comments? Or you want to close?
I don't necessarily want to close. If you want me to start, I will. I
Go ahead.
thought about this project. Do you want me to continue?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So I thought about this project the last meeting after I left, and I sat on it. And I started having some reservations about it. And I have to apologize to the applicant because it's not something that I typically would do. But going home after the meeting, I was not feeling very good about the project. And I've really been thinking about it, and I think we need to really revisit. I know I'm revisiting my feeling on it. I know you went and did the single unit drawing and bedroom and the ADA bathrooms. But unfortunately, I do feel a little differently than I did the last time. So I'd like to hear what everyone else is, if everybody else is still feeling the same. I know that's how I feel.
Okay, that one was Jim, myself, Veronica, and Richard. I'll pass it to you, Troy, what do you think? I know
Well-
you can't vote, but,
Okay, well, I just looking over everything that he did, and he did everything we asked him to do, based on the last conversations that we had, and it looks good as far as what he changed and what we were looking for.
all right, Jimmy.
I continue to maintain that even though we had 5 things in front of us, the only real issue here, everything that's pre-existing non-conforming, I don't even know why we're voting on it. The only thing we're really voting on is the use. Residential is an allowed use, but the density is not. The square foot of the lot, I think the square feet of the lot would entitle them to 1 unit, they're looking for 3.
Right.
So I'm really on the fence, especially after listening to Veronica vacillate. Again, they did exactly what we directed them to do. It doesn't look like this is an engineered plan, but it does look like they did what we asked them to do.
Richard?
Yeah, I see that they did comply with what we asked them to do, but the last time he came in, those bathrooms weren't even close to what they should be. And I also left mixed emotions after that meeting. Again, it's the density of what you're what's trying to be packed in there, and in a way, I kind of felt not sure of myself as the meeting was going, and then after I left, I definitely wasn't sure of myself. So I have reservations on approving this matter.
All right, and as you all know, I had reservations myself from beginning. That being said, do you want to add anything before we close?
It was just that last time, and we spent several $1,000s doing what you guys had asked us to do, and when we left last time, it was, if we look back at the tape, was, we're okay moving forward with this as long as you make the changes that we made. It was going to be a quick yes or no meeting, not open back up for discussion. So I'm not sure why we're going backwards. We were on agreement last time, as long as I met what you guys had requested, we would meet that requirement to move forward, and we did that. So now we're,
But you said it, it was gonna be quick, yes or no. I mean, unless we vote, that's why the board like to sleep on things, unless the vote comes out. I mean, it is what it is, you could reapply. We don't know what the vote's gonna be. So if whatever you wanna add before we close, we'll hear it.
Well, we've asked for a public input, correct?
Yeah, there was nobody.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we close the public portion of this meeting.
Okay, I have a motion by Jim, do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Rich, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Abstain, so it's closed, 400. Motion, wishes.
So I'll make a motion, but I just don't think it's gonna fly. I'm hearing reservations, but I think we need to get this matter closed. So I'll move to approve based on the new plans, but these new plans have to be submitted with an architect's stamp for my vote.
Okay, I have a motion to grant from Jim, do I have a second? Veronica, you second? No?
No, I don't.
Richard?
No.
Okay, and I don't. Sorry, it's lost.
okay, thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much. So it's motion 1, and there's no second, it's lost. Thank you very much. We move forward, stay with us, Veronica and
You wanna put
Jake.
those in the folder?
Jake, you're gonna stay with us all night, but Veronica, one more. 38-22, Richard and Anita Padula on 9 Murphy Street.
And that was,
Okay, councilors, public hearing still open. Just a name and address for record.
Attorney Jillian Morton, 184 Main Street.
Okay, very well. This one Jim's gonna chair, and it will be Jake, Veronica, Jim, and Richard.
3822.
You could just tell us
Sure.
since when, what happened since last
If you
time?
recall, this is a petition by abutters. I represent the Padulas in regards to a two-family, which was approved by the prior building commissioner. There's a building permit that was issued in the packets you had showing all the multiple lots. So I think we heard quite a bit last time in regards to the abutters. And what I want to focus on today is the fact that we have a building permit that's issued for a two-family. We're of the opinion that it was issued incorrectly, that it was based upon the 156,000 square feet, of all those lots versus the 45,000 and change that was on the front lot. So we're asking the board to either vote to uphold this permit that has been issued or to remand that back. I did speak to and try to, I know last time we were trying to work with the homeowner. That did not work out. So at this point, we're looking for some action from the board to be able to bring that back to the commissioner, whether he decides to change his plans to a single family, going through a variance process. I'm not sure, but I'm here looking for action from the board.
Okay. Does anybody on the board feel we need additional public input? I don't either. I thought about this a lot. I personally support the building commissioner's decision to grant a two-family permit. Were I not chairing, I'd be making a motion to support the permit that's been granted. I feel as though the property owners own sufficient area, despite the fact that it's non-contiguous by non-constructed roads, feel as though they have sufficient area to supporting the commissioner's decision to grant the permit. So I would, again, if I were making the motion, I'd move to support his decision to grant that permit and let it stay in force. As far as the neighbors' ability to get to the beach, I think that's a civil matter between the parties, and it's not a zoning issue. That's my take on the whole thing. But do you have any comments?
I have no comments.
Richard,
No comments at this time.
Veronica, or Jake?
No comments.
I
Veronica?
do. There was a lot of talk about the access to the water, and that was really the main focus. I guess I lost sight of a lot of the facts in terms of the two-family, what's there, and square foot wise, what's allowed and what's not allowed. So I'd like to hear from Attorney Morton on why we should, what facts are there that would make us go and overturn the decision of the commissioner
Absolutely.
or of the building department.
Yeah, absolutely, through the chair. So I understand your decision in regards, or you're leaning towards keeping the two-family because the adequate amount of space. As you mentioned, that is a civil matter. That's not for this forum in regards to the access. That can be handled through other forums. One of the things to caution, though, is that front lot, which you would be allowing a two-family on, is not the amount of square footage. So if you uphold the building permit, and I can give the facts because I know Veronica had asked for that. So the total lot size, including all those lots, is about 143,000 and change. The current lot that he has this two-family on, and if you have your packet with you, it's that kind of triangular spot, is approximately, I believe it was 32 or 33,000 square feet. So it was well under the 45,000 square feet permitted for a two-family. So in our opinion, if you allow this to move on, then there's a civil matter that happens, and there's a new plan issued, then you have a non-conforming two-family on a smaller lot. So I think it would warrant at least a review from the building commissioner to remand this.
Does that answer your question, Veronica?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Myself, I don't, but it seems, I would agree that it needs to go back to the commissioner for review. Because I'm not sure. I know there are paper roads there. And I'm assuming that is the reason why the 142,000 square feet doesn't stand. I'd like some confirmation on the other board members if they feel that's the reasoning here. So it's not, because the land is separated by the roads. So I'm assuming that's why.
Richard, do you have any comments? Help Veronica to confuse her more?
No. No, I don't.
You got their hand up. What is that? You got a commissioner?
Mazzullo, the owner.
The owner? Okay, we didn't close the public portion yet. So I'll listen to the owner. Go ahead, sir. And if you're speaking, you're on mute. You need to unmute your microphone.
He's on mute.
Okay. The room is silent, waiting for your words, sir. Is his hand still up?
His hand's still up, he's in the room, he's unmuted.
Can you see him on the...
Hold up, he has 2 accounts, and he's raised his hand in both accounts. Give me one sec.
Sure. We haven't had this much fun since we had knobs on the TV.
So while we have a break in the action, I would, now that I'm looking at it, and Veronica did bring up a good point, maybe it needs to go back to the commissioner for further review.
I think,
Is this like, there's paper roads, but I bet you went down there, you couldn't find a couple of them.
oh, you can't find any of them.
Yeah.
You can't find any of them. I'm sure you can't. I've walked the property.
And I don't want to speak for the applicant, for the homeowner, but he did indicate he was looking to do a single family. So I think that would be warrant anyways going back. So hopefully he gets on the line so he can clarify.
If I understand correctly, this permit is already active. They're under
Is-
construction.
Well, there is another hiccup, is that the sewer, and I know he's here, so I don't want to speak on his behalf, but the sewer is for a single family. It's not permitted for a 2-family.
So
I want him to be able to speak on that.
The riser coming from the town provides flow for one, not
Right.
2.
Right. So hopefully we
Okay,
can get on.
so is he still with his hand up, or?
I've given the commissioner to speak, he's unmuted, he hasn't said anything. So he probably doesn't have his mic set up correctly or something along those lines.
I don't read the sign language too well either. Does he have a cell phone? Can he call into us if he can hear us? Is his face on the screen?
No.
So maybe he went to the bathroom. Let's table this and hear you later.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we can't have 40 people
If
sitting
he's
here.
not talking, he's not talking, so, but that's fine.
I mean, it could be a technical problem on our side. I want to give him every opportunity.
All right. But there's a lot of people for this matter in this room, so we don't want them to wait either, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so we table it. Hopefully, when he comes on, let us know, we'll bring it back on,
Bring it back after we finish whatever we do next.
okay?
Thank you, John.
All
Just
right,
keep us informed.
So I'm gonna table for, also 3522, because Mr. Brian Grady is gonna be here for a while. I'll table Mr. Olim, because the counselor's here.
You want to table that one? Mr. Perry?
Okay, why don't, because Mr. Conte is here, let's take 29-22, Josh D. Olim for 2618 Cranberry Highway. Counselor?
And I have the folder. Does anybody here need to see any of the old?
Let me know as soon as Mr. Marzullo.
I have him on, he's unmuted, so whenever he talks, he talks.
Okay.
You ready?
Counselor,
Want me to
yes.
step back? You ready for him?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Public hearing's still open, so what do you,
I've given you a letter tonight. I'm asking to have it continued again. I have still been unable to get final plans out of JC Engineering. And as of yesterday afternoon, he told me that he was going to be around the end of February before he had them completed.
okay, so should we go into March to make it?
Well, that's what
feasible?
I've asked in my letter, is the first week of March, the first meeting in March.
Which is the 8th.
The 8th, that's fine. I mean, I would certainly hope he could get them done by then.
Okay, anyone, any public? Mr. Conte? Name and address, please.
Christopher Conti, 2614, 2616 Cranberry Highway. I'm a director of butter on the east side, about 360 feet. This applicant seems to keep postponing and postponing. We continue and continue. He originally came for a site plan, for a special permit, and it was decided that he came back and decided a site plan review. From what I understand, that a new application needs to be done for a site plan review, or he needs to withdraw this application and put a new one in for the site plan review and update this one. So I don't understand why we keep continuing this if the applicant hasn't withdrawn his original special permit and resubmitted it with the special permit and site plan review.
Okay, you do have a point there, but I have to be fair, personally, I know engineers firms that's jammed. I have these problems myself. I mean, if you want to do anything, 2-3 months out, so
If I may.
so to be fair, I think it's okay to give them the extension. However, about reapplying, we'll hear from the board. Jimmy?
Well, the applicant didn't change his mind and asked for a site plan review. The board directed them, I believe.
That's correct. At that time, I agreed that I would do that. In fact, I gave a couple of weeks, you gave me to think it over. I thought it over. I came back before the board. I said, we're going to do what you would like us to do.
Correct.
And at the time, we discussed the fact that I believe I have an absolute right to amend the existing application. And that's where we've been until tonight. This is the first I've ever heard of any asking to withdraw it. And I would suggest that as far as this abutter, there's no harm done. If I did withdraw and refiled, we'd be out to the same time period. So, I mean, I don't see what difference it makes.
Well, renotice would have to be done through the chair, sorry.
Go ahead.
Wouldn't they have to renotice if they're going to do a site plan review according
They
to
have to, and I
Article
don't have a problem
15?
with that.
They do, but as the councilor said, he has the right to amend it, but,
That's true.
so we'll see what the rest of the board think. What do you think, Troy?
I agree with Jim.
Okay. Rich?
I hear Mr. Conti's point, and I do believe that we did have a plan that everybody came to agreement with, that we would push it out. And Counselor has thought about it, came back and said that they would do what we asked. So I do believe I agree with you.
And that is right. Engineers are a nightmare right now. I've got 2 of mine pending for longer than any of them. I mean, I understand what's going on out there as far as engineers and surveyors go.
So
Good
what's
time to be an engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't turned my license in 50 years ago.
Veronica, you have any input on that?
Well, I hear Mr. Conti's point about re-notifying people so that they are aware of what's happening. I don't know the rules about amending, but, I think if an applicant is changing what's going to happen in that place, I do feel like the public should be notified. If they think it's going to be one thing and they're okay with it, but then what it's going to be changes, I think a re-notification would make sense, just so that the public is aware of that change if they didn't follow it from the beginning.
Okay, very well. Jake, do you have any input?
No input.
Okay, so,
Can I?
yes.
I did send an email to Mr. Buckland about this, and I asked him about it, and his response was that they can't schedule a site plan review until the applicant has submitted all the right materials and amended his application.
Okay.
To
I
our
guess-
point.
Anyone else on our public want to speak? I guess the only thing to do, I guess, if the board wishes are, but to deny without prejudice and reapply, I guess.
Do we need to deny? You think so?
You have to reapply from scratch.
For a site plan review?
And, yeah, and
He
re-notify.
can't amend the, because we
I think
directed
that's
him.
what Buckland said too, is according to Mr. Conti, is that he thinks we can amend also.
Yeah, I don't,
I never
All right,
heard
well,
of not
let's-
amending a petition.
Okay, let's see how the board feels. So you okay with the
I'm
amendment?
okay with just.
Richard, you okay with the amendment?
I'm okay with the amendment.
Veronica, you okay with the amendment?
If the rest of the board is okay with it, I just want to do it by the book. I don't want to
So
move forward if
remember,
we shouldn't be moving
just
forward.
amending it, you don't re-notify the abutter, do you?
Pardon me?
Would you re-notify the abutter?
I honestly have to agree that that should be done.
Okay.
There is a change when we go to complete site
So
plan
we just
review.
amend the application and re-notify?
I've got to give you an amended, then I think we have to republish, and I said that the first time
Okay,
we agreed to do that.
all right, very well, good. Jake, you on board with that?
So,
Yes.
question,
Yeah.
so does the re-notification come before, during, or after we finally get a set of plans out of these engineers?
You know, that's a good question. We should discuss that. I don't know when we're going to get his plans out of these engineers.
we're
I'm
com-
disgusted.
We're coming back March 8th.
We're
Do
coming
we-
back March 8th. I'm hoping they get it soon enough that I can amend and we can publish before March 8th.
So,
I'd like to get this thing done. I've been on this for
Why don't we
3
go
months.
to April 12th?
That's fine with me, but don't tell JC.
No.
Okay.
Everybody good for April 12th?
hopefully
It
Jason,
might be a little too late. Yeah.
Okay, can we get a motion on that?
what's the date?
April 12th.
And what about, let's put a date in stone right now then for re-notification. It's supposed to be 30 days in advance and all this, and
Whatever's necessary to.
can we go
to-
backwards from
to
there and
publicize.
pick
I
up
guess
a,
we have to. I mean, I
We
guess I
need
got to
to-
tell JC and say, you guys are on the spot now.
yeah, that's,
And if they don't do it, I'll tell them they've got to pay the guy's reapplication fee.
and they'll say, yeah, sure, but they won't pay
But
it.
they won't pay it, exactly.
So, okay, so, I mean, going backwards from April 12th, do we want notice to go back out in March?
He has to do what he has to do to be legit.
Just,
He
Yeah, I
has
can't
to,
we
amend without a
don't need
plan.
to state a date, okay.
you
I'm
know,
good.
I mean, if he needs 30 days, he needs 30 days.
So do
She
we need to
can't rush
vote?
it.
So-
Yes.
On a motion to continue until April 12th, with re-notification happening a minimum of 30 days prior?
Well,
You-
I
no,
can't- Once again, I
excuse me,
can't
excuse-
amend without a
And-
plan.
Time out, time out. Veronica, speak.
Yes, and we just want to make sure that an extension is signed by the applicant so that we're not stuck with a time limit on making a decision.
Yeah, I'll give you a new letter tomorrow, extending time even more. I gave you a letter tonight, Veronica, and I will go out even further with
Okay.
a new letter tomorrow.
Staples is gonna love
Thank you.
you.
Okay, so we have, okay, for right now, we have a proposed extension till April 12th.
Yep.
We cannot condition to apply 30 days prior. If he doesn't, shame on him.
Okay,
I mean, the rules are the rules. I mean, he needs that time to, she
Yeah,
needs to
well-
send two notices, and whatever the time is, it is. So I'd like to have a motion to continue.
so moved.
So I have a motion to continue until April 12, 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Rich. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Abstain.
500.
Very well. I'm gonna go back, thank you, Mr. Conte.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, Counselor. I'm gonna go back, is Mr. Marzullo on?
He's there, he's able to speak, and he's unmuted, but he hasn't said anything.
And he doesn't show on the screen, or his face does show?
I would have to make him a panelist to do that.
Pardon me?
I would have to make him a panelist to do that. I could attempt to do that.
I'm wondering if the guy had, if he has had a heart attack and died on us,
Easy, easy.
I mean, do you want him to speak on the phone? I could put him on the phone.
You got his number?
Yeah.
Let's
He
get him,
asked.
let's get him on the phone.
All right, let's go back to Jimmy, it's yours. Where is it?
Okay, so
38-22.
you're back at the table, and he's making the phone call, and we're gonna wait for the phone call.
Yep.
Okay, so public hearing still open. For the record, I'm using my phone.
This is Padula. That's done.
Hello?
Hi, Mike. Okay,
Hello?
go ahead.
So can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
We've been trying to get you to talk on
I'm
Zoom.
on Zoom, it's not working properly.
Okay, so this is,
Tell him he says turn the audio off on his Zoom, if he's gonna do it this way, because we're getting an audio feedback right now.
okay. So on your Zoom machine, could you click on the audio so that it stops feedback?
Okay,
Are we good?
I'm good.
Okay, you want to speak, speak.
Okay, I sent a email response to attorneys.
You gotta shut, Mr. Mazzullo, you gotta shut your Zoom. And turn your volume off with Zoom.
Okay, just a sec.
Now I know how to make.
You shouldn't be
All right,
allowing
can you
these
hear me?
things again. You shouldn't be allowing these things again, either Zoom or the public. Go ahead,
Hello?
go ahead, yeah, they could hear you.
Okay, I sent an email response to Julian Morton, copied it to Chairman El Khalasi. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. That letter outlined the fact that we decided to build a single family on the same footprint. I already reviewed everything with the building commissioner regarding this, and he assured me that it would be no problem converting my application to a single family on the same foundation in the same footprint. And the main reason we decided to do this is because of the cost factor involved in building a single family versus the duplex. And we didn't want to do anything that could be reversed in the future by somebody else coming forward and trying to stop us from building a single family. I mean, a duplex, and that's why we decided to just stick with the single family plan.
Okay, so the petition that's in front of her, what this board is hearing is a request for us to overturn the inspector's issuance of a two-family permit, and you're voluntarily doing that.
Yes, that's correct.
So this hearing has been, therefore, becomes moot.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Did anybody get my letter? My emails? I sent it twice.
I did, I read it, but I'm not voting.
I didn't get it, but that's all right. So go ahead, your attorney
Can that
wants
be
to...
read into the record?
Yeah, but you gotta wait one
no,
second,
that's-
Counselor gotta speak.
I have to go against that. That was that's not a formal request, but anyways, it wasn't submitted formally to the zoning board. So I
I
would,
can hear her.
Let the counselor speak.
so yes, I think although I wouldn't say this is moot, I still think it needs to get ruled on. I haven't seen an amended application yet. I checked this morning as well to see if something was submitted on Viewpoint. I haven't seen that. I'd be happy to work with him to review it, but I think in order to protect the rights of, this petition, to be able to rule, have a ruling from the zoning board regarding the two-family.
if in fact there's an application for a two-family, I'd be more inclined to extend for 2 more weeks, and if during the 2 weeks the permit is reissued as a single-family, the board doesn't need to act.
So you want to extend for 2 weeks?
I'll entertain a motion to continue for 2 weeks, and during that 2 weeks, Mr. Padula and Mr. Turner submit a single-family permit. We're all done. We don't need to hear this.
Okay, so we can continue then.
Did you hear that, Mr. Padula?
Mr. Mazzullo.
Mazzullo, Padula?
Can I make a comment?
Mazzullo, sorry. Who wants to make a point?
Veronica.
Go ahead,
That's-
Veronica, sorry.
I actually would feel better to make a ruling on this myself. The applicant says he's going to do it, and I don't think it hurts us to close it with saying that that's what's going to happen. I don't know what the rest of the board feels, but I feel like it just leaves it a little messy not to close this, because the applicant is not withdrawing. Sorry, I said the applicant was going to change it. I meant the Mr. Marzullo was going to withdraw it anyway, but the applicant is not withdrawing. So I feel like we should make a ruling on this and not leave it messy, kind of. It could be moot, but at least we're done, and it doesn't have to come back to us for any reason.
If I close the public hearing, will you make a motion? Veronica?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Does somebody want to make a motion to close the public portion of this hearing?
I make a motion to close this portion of the public hearing.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Second.
We're all done hearing testimony. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to grant what the applicant is requesting, that the two-family permit be a request for review by the commissioner to rescind that.
If I may, I know I'm not voting. The best motion to do, a motion to uphold the building commissioner permit. And if you people disagree on it, so go back, you don't second it. If you agree the building permit stays, you all vote yes.
The permit is for 2.
Yeah, so you want to see if you want to uphold on it, or you let it go. You uphold it, it stays. You don't uphold it, it goes, and it's dead. That's how we're gonna do it.
When you say it's,
So,
you
Either
say,
you make a motion to uphold the building commissioner permit, or motion to deny, to overturn the permit.
that would be the motion then, to overturn the permit. That would be my motion.
Okay.
you want to overturn two-family
Correct.
permit, and then that kind of puts in a position where they reapply and get a single family. Okay.
Excuse me, can I make a comment before you
No.
close the hearing?
No, we've closed.
already closed,
You're
sorry.
already closed. Okay, so that's the motion that's been made. Do I have a second on the motion?
Aye, second.
So it's been moved and seconded that the building permit for a two-family residence at, whatever this address is on...
9 Murphy Street.
9 Murphy Street be overturned. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, there you go. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so it's overturned, back to square one. Very well. If anyone agrees with that decision, they could, under section measure on laws 48, section 17, they could appeal it to the district court. So we will continue, so that's done. Before we go in a public hearing, might as well do the continue public hearing. Veronica, if you're busy, you could leave. Jake, stay with us, please, one more. 35-22.
One more, just one thing before Veronica leaves.
Yeah.
I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that are gonna get open tonight as new. If neither,
But Jake's staying with us.
if Veronica leaves, she can't be on any of these
Right.
5. Okay, she knows that, all right.
I mean, that's her
Alright.
choice to leave or stay, so whatever she...
Yeah, I'll stay for a little bit. I guess it just depends how,
Okay, okay, thank you for staying. So, all right, let's move to 35-22, 434 Main Street. Jim, it's yours.
so, depends.
All right.
Not meeting.
And stay in the room, because we might want to ask you some questions if you don't mind.
I can't.
You don't want to?
I
Okay.
can't.
Okay,
I get penalized.
okay,
I wish, that's my penalizing.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows the answer.
You think he knows the answer?
I hope.
You must be getting more than $20 an hour. You got answers. So for the record, Sonia, just so you know where we are, we're at 3522. This is Nazi's project over at 434 Main Street. Go ahead, Brian, as you get ready.
Okay, thank you. Brian Grady with GAF Engineering, here for applicant Nazi Al-Khalasi. I have some revised plans, draft plans to provide to you. I don't know if they're
can
not
see.
available on screen. I don't know if they can zoom in on the poster board there.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was on screen, I don't, oh, that's because they changed this picture.
We're back before you tonight with a draft revised plan, looking to see if we're heading in the right direction from comments that were received at the last meeting. So if you recall the project, the original proposal looked like this.
Hold on one second. You want to shut the lights off on that side of the room for me? Jeff, would you do, yeah, the guy right by the switches there. Throw either switch and see what happens. Do the other one. Thank you. Anybody in the room that wants to see the plans might be able to see them better now. Let's see how that, at least it's, yeah, that's way better. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was the original proposal, 9 townhomes with a small office mechanical room on the end. So we're back with a revised plan tonight. We've deleted 1 unit, and we've detached, so we have 4 proposed duplexes for 8 units. And that reduces some of the numbers, the reason why we're here for you, building coverage and impervious coverage. So the prior plan for building coverage had 35.6%. With the new plan before you, we're down to 26%. The impervious coverage was originally, with that prior plan, at 66.8. We're down to 53.9. And if you recall some of the discussion, there's an easement area in the back there, which we will have a deed restriction placed upon, and that area will remain impervious. And if you factor that additional area in, the building coverage comes down to 21%, and the impervious coverage comes down to 43.5%. Below the 50, and the building coverage is at 21%, and 20% is allowed.
So you're looking for, if we consider that as part of the plan, you're looking for a 1%
Correct.
variation.
So we made this revision, I believe, from input we received at the last meeting. These are draft plans. Looking to see if it's the right direction you were asking us to move toward, and then we can spend the additional time, effort, and capital to formalize these and get a formal plan set back into you.
I get it. You don't want to, He likes giving you money, but he doesn't want to give you money multiple times for the same job. I got it. You can't be drawing things 10 times. I personally find this a heck of a lot better than what we saw the first time. I didn't like the 9 units all in one building. I personally like this a lot better. Any comments from anybody else on the board? Veronica, Richard? Can you see this plan?
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay, good. Any comments? Go ahead.
Brian, could you tell us again what you're looking for in terms of special permit or variance? Are you looking for a variance?
Well, let me just grab the letter. The building commissioner's letter dated May 25th was the interim inspector at the time, David Moore. So with the creation of new nonconformities, it's a variance from the Board of Appeals regarding the maximum building coverage and the maximum impervious surface. So I gave you the new numbers. I can repeat those if you like.
So we've satisfied one and we're within 1% of the other, if I listened properly.
Correct. And there's some tweaks that could be made. You know, building coverage, we have decks on the proposed buildings. If those were swapped out for patios, they no longer count for building. So there are minor tweaks like that that could additionally be made. If the board sees fit to request something like that.
You getting it,
So
Veronica?
I'm just trying to be clear. So you're actually looking for a variance for 1% of impervious coverage, is that correct?
When we're counting the easement area, that will be restricted, correct?
So then if that were not the case, you would not be looking for any variances?
No, but we'd still be under site plan review because of the number of cars that'll be parked, et cetera. So we're doing basically we're doing a straight site plan review. This is within 1% of being a by right project.
Okay, so that's what I want to know. Is it's within 1% of being a by right? It's not by right, special permit.
Well, counting the easement area, that's the numbers we're at, correct?
Counting the easement area. Right, because this is what we had a question about last time, the easement being used for 2 different properties, right? Counting the coverage for both properties?
It doesn't count for the coverage on the High Street side. Those are standalone lots. So
Okay.
it would be deed restricted for the benefit of this project.
So I just want to be clear, I don't mean to beat a dead horse here. If everybody else understands, I still don't completely, and I would like to. So the lots that were done on High Street without the easement, they were within conformance
Yes,
to the zoning bylaws.
Correct, those all conform, correct.
Do they conform to the zoning bylaws without the easement? For what I wanted to be clear on. And the 1% that is not in conformance relates to the impervious coverage.
The building coverage.
Is that right? The building coverage, okay.
Which is,
So I'm gonna make a comment, again, so that what is the hardship here that we would grant?
well, the hardship is that the project doesn't move forward as proposed. Minor tweaks can be made to get to the numbers if you really want to get there. For that additional 1%, minor tweaks can be made, and it might just be a matter of converting the decks to patios, which are not counted for building coverage, but they are still counted for impervious, but we're below the 50% for impervious with the easement area.
So if I heard him right, Veronica, if they convert the decks to patios, they conform.
Right. I'd like to hear what the rest of the board has to say. I know what I think about it.
Okay. Is,
I like this new, I would like to say, though, I do like this new design.
thank you. How about Jacob? Is he still on?
Yes, I am.
What do you think, Jake?
I honestly think it's a lot better. Much better plan than before.
Richard?
I agree, it's much better plan than we did see before, but I'm not too up on how you take one piece of property, divide it into small lots, smaller lots, then turn around and grant an easement from another one which you just made. So in a way, I'm very confused at how that works, because I'm not up on that as far as how you can make redesign a whole lot and then turn around and ask for an easement. Give it an easement and then to go for a building permit. So
I got you.
I'm uncomfortable with that, how we can swatch that around like that. But and again, I am a lot happier with the design of it, but it just,
Other than that, that's your one gray area. Troy, what do you got for comments?
I'm kind of on the same page as Richard with that one.
Okay.
I mean, I like I really like the way the new plan looks. I like them separated like that, but I agree with Richard on the easement.
So where do we stand if, looking at you, Brian, where do we stand if the board is uncomfortable using the easement area in the calculations? Where do we stand percentage-wise then?
Well, we go back to those numbers at 26% for building coverage and 53.9 for impervious.
So what is the difference, I guess? Where are we?
Well, 20% is allowed for building coverage, we'd be at 26.
Okay,
Impervious coverage, 50% is allowed, we're at 53.9.
okay.
I know in the past for...
No, because we've, I've just, to the board and for everybody's edification, we've granted variances for a lot more density than that in the past. It looks to me like the applicant is trying to show us that he's come up with a way to give them a bigger backyard. But I understand my fellow board members' questions as well. So if I'm hearing it correctly from everybody, you're here looking for a direction. Am I going in the right direction? You're not here saying this is the final plan.
Correct. And from what I hear, I'm hearing that you like this layout better. So I can approach the applicant to see if there's further tweaks we can make. But it looks like we're heading in the right direction, if I'm hearing correctly.
As far as I'm concerned, yeah, I personally didn't like one building 9 years. It looked, just to me, it looked like back in the days when the factories were powered by water and one leather strap ran everything, and they converted chicken coops into residences. But this is very nice, I think. So from my point of view, this is moving in the right direction. How about the rest of the board? We going in the right direction with this new plan?
I say yes.
Troy?
I think so.
Veronica?
Yes. And if I could ask another question of Brian, I don't know
You can ask all the questions you want.
the answer. So the easement is, I just want to be clear on it, because I feel like the rest of the board also is in the same boat as I am, at least Troy and Rick are. The easement is owned by the front property, basically. So it meets those,
No.
the building
The
coverage and everything.
Veronica, if I've got it right, the easement
Yes.
area is owned by the properties on High Street, but it's going to be used by the properties on Main Street.
What's the purpose of the easement then?
To allow
just to
the
give them some
properties on
playing
Main Street
area?
to use it.
Well, it's a landscape utility easement. These duplexes will be able to use that area as yard area, swing set, garden. They can't do any impervious things like storage sheds or anything like that. So the way the easement will be written is they will get to use it for landscaping. There's a water main back there. These duplexes will be fed by a water main back there, as are the duplexes on High Street. So the water main comes around the rear of both properties, and they share that water main between the two. But it'll be an easement for the benefit of the project currently before you. So I guess to your point, the variance, if you choose to grant it, should be for the numbers, not counting the easement area. What we're trying to just demonstrate is that we have a beneficial easement restriction, which just further reduces the numbers and basically gets us to compliance.
So we could vary by the 6% difference in the, what was it, a 6 on one and
Right.
And
3.9 on the impervious.
3.9 on the other?
Right.
So we could make variances based on the actual lot size, but know that there's a variance that's going to allow them this extra space.
Yeah, but what I'm looking for tonight, like I said, is some direction.
Direction. Oh, you want somebody to tell you where to go?
No, that happens all the time. But it looks like the plan is better for this board, and I'll speak with the applicant, see if there's some additional tweaks we can make. Like I said, decks convert to patios, things such as that, to further get those.
Everybody got to give you a go except Jake. Jake, what do you think? Come on, Jake, we know you're listening. Did Jake go away? Is he still on?
He's still there, but he's muted.
He's muted.
Hi, sorry, I could, yes, I'm here.
What do you think? Right direction or wrong direction? Good direction?
I think it's a good direction.
Okay. We just wanted your input.
Are we going to have an engineer review? Charlie, Mr. Rowley has retired, correct? So
We got a new guy.
who do we have reviewing this?
A new outfit. Do we need a 53G? Is that what you're asking for?
I just think it does need to be reviewed.
I know the fee's already been paid initially for
There is a
Charlie.
53G account, and Charlie's been reviewing this, or
Well,
something?
he did the initial review, and, I think he was paid for that review, so I don't know how that would work with a new,
Did he use all the money?
I don't know the status of any
Okay.
of that.
So we might want to look at that while you're gone, and, that we may want the town to...
Yeah, I didn't
There
know-
is a new engineer, they have got a contract, and
Right, you'd have to contact,
somebody else will whack at it so that we can just, run
Right.
your bill right up the flagpole.
well, I guess my question is Charlie finishing off projects he started, or is it a clean cut, or where he stands? I don't know.
I've
So,
heard both,
Yeah,
so,
I guess we need an answer on that.
yeah, we'll look into it between now and... When do you want to come back?
A month,
A month? I'm okay with a month. You need more?
yeah, a month and a half, just,
I think, I just know the way they're...
I've heard a lot of dispersions about engineers and surveyors.
Yeah, we hate engineers, but we put up with them and all that kind of stuff. They're one step below a lawyer. No, architects, we got a list of them, too. So, I'll in jest. So if you need a month and a half, I'm okay with it. What about the rest of the board? Richard, how do you feel about giving them 6 weeks to draw up some good plans?
So we'd be looking at what, either the 9th of February or the 23rd?
So, I'd go for
Or you
the
want further than that?
No, let's go the 23rd, 2/23, sure, just,
February 23. Anybody want to make that as a motion to continue?
I make a motion to continue.
Seconded?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we continue this. We direct the engineer to go forward as in the direction they're going, and we'll see them back here on the 23rd. All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's all right, Mr. Mute. We know you said aye.
Do you mind, sir, put that light back on, if you don't mind, behind you,
Thank you.
if you don't mind? All right, so this is the other way.
Don't, I'll go to
That's
sleep.
all right, we do good work in the dark, too.
February 22nd, that's going.
Anybody want to keep these plans, or do you want to put them in the folder? Want them back? Can I have one for the folder for here?
All right. We move forward to the public hearings, 42-22, Francis Ellis for 7 Meadows Ave.
Where are we, Naz?
42-22,
4220.
7 Meadows Ave.
That's got to be read in. Somebody should go here for that? And I'll pass these out before I start reading. Here you go.
Thank you.
I would have passed a few.
That's all right. The zoning board of appeals will hold a public hearing
Stiff sitting here.
on December 28th, 2022 at 6:30 PM in room 320 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 42-22 for a variance from the requirements of Article 3, Table 320, under Wareham zoning bylaws to Francis Ellis Jr., care of Jillian Morton, Esquire of 184 Main Street, Wareham, Mass., proposing to construct a single-family dwelling at 7 Meadows Avenue, Wareham, Mass. That appears on Wareham Assessors Map 110, Lot 9B, in the CG zoning district.
All right, very well, Counselor.
Thank
Name and
you.
address.
Attorney Jillian Morton, 184 Main Street. In front of you today, we have an application for a variance. If you look, I always like to start at the denial letter from the commissioner. And the denial you have is that we are in the commercial general district, which does not allow single-family residential. This property is located on Meadows Ave, which is sort of a side street when you, so if you picture where Sutter's Ford is, and there's a little street that goes down, and there's a few other properties, and they are residential. So it's unique. It's in one of those sections where commercial, general, it's really, there's residential there. The property owner, there was a single family there, and he was looking, and this was a prior, I think 2 or 3 commissioners passed, and he was looking at one point, I think in 2017, for a 2-family there, but understanding though, just the size of the lot and what have you, now we're in front of you looking for this single family. You have a plan in front of you, pretty modest house. You can see the outline of the former 2-bedroom. We're looking for a 4-bedroom there, and the plan also shows the septic and how that would be built. As far as a use variance goes, when you're looking at a use variance, taking into account what's nearby. So even though this is a commercial general, where if you could look at some of the uses that are allowed on this little lot, it wouldn't actually warrant that. Next door are single families, and it's a quiet little back road. So just because it's off of the main highway and included in the commercial general, I think that it definitely warrants the variance here for him to be able to build this single family on the property. There was one there before, and I'm happy to answer any questions in regards to anything surrounding it. It has been taxed as developable vacant residential land, I think for a while. So the value of this land actually is about $75,000. So it has been taxed as wise, so I just wanted to give you that information. So I think it would warrant the hardship that he's not able to build a single family where there was one. That's why we're in front of you today, to be able to get the use variance.
All right, very well. Is Veronica and Jake still on? Who's still on, Veronica?
I'm still here.
All right, okay, very well. Why don't we start with you, Veronica? What do you think of that variance?
I'm not exactly clear. Sorry, I just had a little coughing jag. Can I go in a little bit? I just need to clear my throat.
Yes, Jake, go ahead.
She wants to go after she's had.
Okay. Troy, what do you think?
I don't have anything right now.
Jimmy?
He says he's in front of us, the building commissioner says the only reason it's in front of us is for use variance, which I understand, but I'm looking at it, it looks like they've only got 44 or 59 feet of frontage. What's the frontage requirement for that lot?
If you look at your plan, should be a table on here, I think the engineers put the minimum requirements and setbacks for residential use, so if you look all the way to the right, just has the setbacks there again, because it's
I'm
commercial.
not talking about setbacks, I'm talking about frontage.
Front, well, it's in commercial general, so I'm not sure.
It's a grandfather
residential.
lot. It's a grandfather.
It was, so if you see the note there in 2018.
So you think it's a pre-existing non-conforming?
Otherwise, the inspector would have
Okay,
said on.
that's my question.
Okay.
So we're doing a use variance.
Use, that's all we're worrying about is the use. Then let's not spend a
Because
lot
in
of time on it.
General commercial, residential by itself is not allowed. Richard, what do you think?
I don't have anything
I have
at
nothing
this
now.
time.
Jake?
Nothing at this time.
Veronica?
Well, is this was something that was recently purchased and someone's trying to, if it was a residence, single residence before, has it been torn down and it's being built back? I'm not sure why it's a question now if it's already a residence.
Yep, it actually was kind of a hazard, so, and this was during, again, prior commissioners where there was communication to the client about you can remove it, and now the new commissioner, obviously, the structure's been removed.
How long? For how long it's been gone?
It looks like it was 2018 it was removed. That's what it says in the plan.
18?
More than 2 years.
You did come in front of this board in 2017 for a duplex, which you denied, which I understand, but now he's looking just for the single family.
All right. Veronica, want to ask more?
So, well, I would just like to make a comment. So there's not a whole lot of commercial general zoning in Wareham. And I don't see a hardship. No one's currently living there. It can be, a commercial property could be put there and well used in my mind. I don't know what the rest of the surrounding, I can't picture where it is exactly.
Can I speak to Veronica?
But that's just my thought on the commercial general and allowing a use variance.
All right, very well. Jimmy, go ahead.
Veronica, this property, and I'll ask somebody to interrupt me if I'm wrong, this property is, if you go down Cranberry Highway where the old Sutton Ford, it's now Wareham Ford, if you go from Wareham Center heading south or east on 28 past the Ford dealership, there's a piece of property that used to have a beauty shop out front. The guy's got boats and moorings and stuff, Cape Cod towboat or something. And then the road turns left in there, that's Meadows. And it goes in and it goes behind Sutton Ford. If you were to develop this, because it's got a house on either side of it, Meadows Road, that goes behind Sutton Ford, if you were trying to put a commercial enterprise in there, the setbacks to the residential houses on either side of it would overlap, and the only thing you could build there would be a shoestring factory about 3 inches wide. So I don't think that there's a higher or better use than to go ahead and allow them the residential use. That's just my observation.
Okay, you good, Veronica? All right, let's move to the public. Anyone want to speak in favor of this project? Anyone against? I hear none.
Make a motion to close the public portion.
Do I have a second on that?
I second.
Second by Richard, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, opposed, abstain. Okay, so that's Veronica and Jake voting on that. So what's the wishes?
Make a motion to grant as requested. Change of use. Single-family home.
Okay, so we have a motion by Jim to grant. You have a second on that?
I will second.
Second by Rich, all in favor?
Sorry, I lost you.
Okay, second by Rich, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Veronica?
Aye.
I lost connection. I didn't hear what the vote is. Is this in
No,
vote,
that's no vote. That's a
voting in favor
motion
of the
to
residents?
grant. Motion to grant by Jim.
Deny.
Okay, and I'm gonna deny.
So it's
So it's lost.
320, right?
3-2-0.
320, sorry, it's lost.
Okay, that's lost. 43-22, Richard and Audrey Creighton, 24 Cove Street.
24.
Do you want this back?
Yeah, let's put that back. Right here, Richard.
Patty, on the findings, this one did not meet statutory requirement for Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 10. Also on 40-22, on 47 Sandwich Road, it was denied also because it did not meet statutory requirement of Mass General Laws, a statutory requirement of a variance, Section 10. Thank you. All right, 43-22, 24 Cove Street.
Richard. Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on December 28th, 2022, 6:30 PM in the room 320 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 43-22 for a special permit from the requirements of Article 6 under the Wareham zoning bylaws to Richard E. and Audrey Creighton, care of Bradley Botello, J.C. Engineering, Inc., of 2854 Cranberry Highway, Wareham, Mass., proposing to construct two small one-story additions to the front of the dwelling located at 24 Cove Street, Wareham, Mass. That appears on Wareham Assessors Map 2, Lot 264, in the Onset Village 2 zoning district.
Name and address, sir.
Good evening, Brad Bertolo with JC Engineering.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, thank you. This property is located at 24 Cove Street and currently contains a single-family one-story dwelling. The lot itself is a pre-existing non-conforming lot. The current dwelling is also pre-existing non-conforming as it lacks current side setbacks. It also currently exceeds maximum building coverage and floor area ratio on the property. What the applicants would like to do is construct two small additions on the front of the structure. One addition is about 60 square feet, 4.5 feet by 13 feet. That basically squares off the structure. And then an additional 5 foot by 9 foot front addition. It's about 45 square feet. That will be a new entryway into the dwelling. The proposed expansion of the non-conforming structure requires a special permit in accordance to the letter issued by Mr. Turner, issued or written on October 18th, 2022. It's being denied because of Article 6, density and dimensional regulations for max building coverage, and similar regulation for floor area ratio. So, as part of the application, I had submitted some renderings and some aerial photograph, or some pictures. I have a few copies of each, if you'd like to pass them around.
All right, while you pass on them, apparently this is an existing non-conforming lot. As you all see, the floor area, FAR is allowed 20%, they get 20.6, that 0.6 saved them, and they want to move to 22.1, and that will require a special permit, not a variance, as well as the impervious. They don't need it, they're still under 50%. Setbacks, and there's no change, and rear setback over 10 feet, which they have. Okay, I'm gonna start with you, Jake. What do you think of that?
Jake doesn't get the benefit of seeing the plans like we do.
All right, Veronica, you listening?
I am, I don't see the plan, so I'd like to hear what the board has to say.
All right, Troy. What do you think, Troy?
He's looking, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at them now.
All right, what are you looking, Jimmy?
I don't see it as being terrible.
Okay, Richard?
I'm fine with the way it's presented.
And it looks fine to me. Well, Veronica, thinking I'm gonna go to public. Anyone want to speak in favor of this project? Anyone against? I hear none. What do you think, Veronica?
What's the reason for the change? Is it's a single-family dwelling, you said it is, and they're just gonna,
It's a single family, it's an existing non-conforming structure, and they want to increase the non-conformity on the FAR with like 0.5%.
Yeah, 1.5%.
2%, right?
Yeah, 1.5. And that's it. Everything else is good.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, and building coverage also, they want to, building coverage and FAR, it's increased like 1.5%. So you good with that?
Okay.
Okay,
I'm fine with that.
all right. Troy, back to you.
I'm fine.
All right, anything else before we close?
No, that sums it up.
Can we make a motion?
Make a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Richard, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain, okay, wishes.
Make a motion to grant relief as a special permit. I don't find it detrimental to the neighborhood.
All right, so the finding is not detrimental to the neighborhood. Do I have a second on Jim's motion?
I'll second.
Second by Veronica, all in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose, abstain, it carries 500. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 44-22, Diane Comfort, special permit and a variance on 12 Onset Bay. Diane here. Oh, Mr. Lockwood.
On that last one, who was,
500.
Nazi and who else said?
Jake, you, myself, and Richard.
No, who said no?
Nobody said no.
No, not on this one, the last one.
Matters, Veronica and Nazi said no.
Veronica and Nazi.
You, Jake, and Richard, yes.
Okay. Just trying to get it written down before we move. Is that from that one just now? Is
I
that
gave
him?
it to you.
You gave it to me? Okay.
The new one now.
I can close this. $44.22.
Thank you.
Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on December 28th, 2022, 6:30 PM in Room 320, Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 44-22 for a special permit and a variance from the requirements of Article 6, Table 622 and 628 of the Wareham zoning bylaws to Diane Gorfinkel, care of William H. Lockwood, R.A. of Lockwood Architects of Onset, Mass., proposing to construct 3 additions to the dwelling located at 12 Onset Bay Lane, Wareham, Mass. That appears on Wareham Assessors Map 2, Lot 27, in the Onset Village 2 zoning district.
So Lockwood, name and address, please.
Good evening, Bill Lockwood, Lockwood Architects, representing Diane Gorfinkel. The property is located at 12 Onset Bay Lane, which is in the Plain Independence District area. Goes off of Hammond Street, next to St. Mary's Church, over the hill. It's a very small lot with a very small house, which we'd like to make a little bit bigger. We're proposing 3 separate additions on 3 different sides of the house. The reason for our appearance tonight is that these additions will increase the building coverage and they will increase the FAR. The increase in the building coverage building coverage is already a pre-existing non-conforming condition, and we're looking to increase that by about 4%, from about 34% to 38%. The impervious coverage also increases from 39% to 43%, but that is still underneath the allowable 50%. The variance portion of the petition is for the FAR, which we understand was before town meeting this fall, and I think was pulled down. I was actually under the erroneous impression that it had actually been turned down, but I was corrected by Mr. Buckland on that. So at the time I wrote my narrative, I was operating under that misconception. In terms of the FAR, we are increasing from slightly under 25%, which is the allowable, to about 28%. We're trying to just get a little bit of elbow room for the client who would like to retire here. She lives in New Jersey, and we can't have, we figured that Onset's a much better choice than New Jersey. So the zoning code in itself creates a hardship for the property. She's limited as to what she can do just by the percentages. So we're looking for a little increase in the FAR for the variance. We're looking for a special permit for the building coverage. Happy to answer any questions.
All right, very well. So as you guys see, that's an existing non-conforming. On building coverage, if the board feel as it's not detrimental to the neighborhood, we could act upon it as a special permit. Lot coverage, they're okay, they're under 50%. Floor area ratio, they are conforming. So if they need the increase of 3.6%, they need a variance. So that being said, I start with Veronica.
What zone was this in again? I missed that.
Onset Village 2. OV2.
Okay, I have no questions. I just want to hear what, I can't, there are 3 additions going on, and what are those, what's going to change with the additions? What rooms, is there an addition for rooms? What are the size of the additions?
So Lockwood?
Of the 3 additions, one would increase the common room kitchen living space by about 6 by 6 by about 35 square feet. Another one will increase the master bedroom, if we can call it a master bedroom, and the third one will increase the secondary bedroom. The secondary bedroom, incidentally, is only 6 feet wide, which doesn't meet Mass Building Code, minimum property standards, or even the Wareham zoning for spaces, apartment size.
What's the total size of the lot?
The total size of the lot is about 2440 square feet. We're increasing the size of the house from 550 square feet to 578 square feet. Well, I'm sorry, it increases it a little bit more than that, but according to the town formula, that's 578 square feet. The town would require 650 square feet if it were a multifamily situation.
You good, Veronica?
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Jake, you there? I guess Jake is not. Back to you, Troy.
I'm good with this.
Is the applicant here? She's not here? Is the applicant here?
No, she's in New Jersey.
Okay, so,
But there are
going to the
some-
public,
there are some
someone want to
abutters
speak in
here.
favor of this project? In favor? Okay, want to come forward? Just near that mic, state your name and address, and tell us, yes, please.
Hi, Cynthia O'Neill, 10 Onset Bay Lane. So our property abuts Diane's property on the side where the house is very close. We had the opportunity to speak with Diane last week when we received the letter about the meeting. And our only concern is that in order to do the building, the workers will have to be on our property. And so we've expressed that concern to Diane, and she was very understanding. We don't mind the workers being on our property, we just want it noted that we support this, but there is going to be some time when our property will be impacted. But we do support the
project.
And I'm
yeah.
sure
And
Diane...
anything
Sir,
that makes the neighborhood better, we are in support of.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ma'am. Second person in favor? Anyone else in favor? Yes? Anyone would like to come? Unfortunately, you have to come to the mic, sir. State your name for the record.
Come to, all you have to do is say your name, address, and I'm in favor, and you can go sit down again. And we don't charge you for the exercise.
My name is Joel Greenman. I'm on 22 Hammond Street, which is cross street from Onset Bay Lane, and I'm in favor of the project.
Okay, very well. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Betty Cassidy. I'm at 14 Onset Bay Lane. I'm on the other side of Diana Budding, and we're in favor of it. She deserves to have the little extra space. She's a good neighbor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Anyone against? Anyone against this project? I hear none. Mr. Lockwood, do you want to do and say anything before we close?
No, I think I'm good.
Good. Can we get a motion to close?
So moved.
Hey, can I ask a final question?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So the neighbor mentioned that they'll have to be on her property to do the building. What are, so the current setbacks, there's no change to the current setbacks or increasing, bringing it closer to the neighbor?
No, the current...
Are they in
setback-
conformance, I guess?
Current setback is 0.4 feet. We're going to be a foot to a foot and a half with the two proposed additions. We will be employing only skinny people on that side of the property.
Did you get that, Veronica?
I'm not clear on
It's
the
only
answer.
half
It's
a foot
currently
from the
0.4?
setback. They're gonna make it a foot, so there's no, it's very tight. So apparently they have to be on the property, neighbor's property to build it.
So, okay, I guess I'm still not clear. So it's 0.4, they're going to decrease the nonconformity, or are they adding to the nonconformity?
Mr. Lockwood, you got an answer for that?
Right now, the setback is 0.4 feet. The nearest that we will be coming with these additions is about a foot.
So you're being, increasing a nonconformity, because what is the setback that's required? Is it 5?
It'd be 10.
10, okay. And the neighbors are okay with it, they said, okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that being said, let's move to close.
So moved.
I have a motion to close by Jim. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Richard. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Abstain. Okay, so it's closed. Apparently, Troy will be voting for Jake. Okay, so what's the wishes?
Motion to grant.
All right, so we have a motion to grant.
Standard conditions.
Okay, so motion to grant the variance and the special permit? That's what
You want to do them separately or one at a time?
you could do together.
Do them together, a special permit and a variance, and the neighbor says it's okay to walk all over her.
so, and the finding apparently on special permit is not detrimental to the neighborhood, on a variance meets statutory requirement of a variance. Do I have a second on that?
I second.
Second by Richard. All in favor, say aye.
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 Abstain.
She's abstained, 401. It carries. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Give me that back.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll take yours back.
All right, 45-22, 13 Woodland Circle.
Is this
Yeah,
goes in
yeah.
here? You got a black folder over there? Yeah, okay. You got it.
I gave mine up
You got it
earlier.
already, I got it. I don't know if it's the time or what, the more empty the room gets, the louder it gets.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'm going to sign off now.
Okay. Jake, you on?
Jake is on or off?
Okay.
All right, why don't you give us a minute? Let us open the hearing. This way they have, the gentleman, the counselor here have the chance to be heard next time by you as well. So
Okay.
you have 5 members, okay? Let's read under the record. You want to read it for the record?
Sorry.
Just give us 5 minutes, Veronica.
45, 22, there's only 2 left.
Yes.
And Jake did take off, huh?
Right.
The zoning board of appeals will hold a public hearing on December 28, 2022, 6:30 PM in room 320, Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition 45-22 for a special permit from the requirements of Article 6, Tables 620, 621, and 628 under the Wareham zoning bylaws to Susan Thomason, care of Dennis J. Conroy, Esquire of 245 Main Street, Wareham, Mass., applying for a building permit of the addition under construction on the rear dwelling located at 13 Woodland Circle, Wareham, Mass., Assessors Map 46A-1, Lot 139, in the R30 zoning district.
Okay. Counsel.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Dennis Conry. I'm appearing on behalf of Susan Thomason this evening.
Yes.
She purchased the property at 13 Woodland Circle on December 19th, 2021. Located on the property are 2 small dwellings. According to the records of the Wareham assessors, both dwellings currently located on the property were built in 1930. The bungalow in the front consists of a 1-story dwelling containing approximately 580 square feet, consisting of 3 rooms and 1 full bath. The bungalow in the rear is a 1-story dwelling containing 506 square feet and has a half bath. Both structures are connected to municipal sewerage. Susan Thomason, who formerly resided in a home in Point Independence, purchased the property at 13 Woodland Circle with the intention of residing in the front bungalow herself and having her disabled father reside in the rear bungalow after she modified the rear bungalow to provide a handicapped bathroom to accommodate her father. Shortly after purchasing the property at 13 Woodland Circle, Ms. Thomason hired a contractor who shortly thereafter commenced construction of a 77-square-foot addition to the rear bungalow where a handicap bathroom and laundry were to be located. The contractor proceeded with the construction of the addition without first obtaining a building permit from the town of Wareham. Construction of the addition was suspended pursuant to a stop work order issued by the building inspector for failure to obtain the necessary permit. Subsequently, Ms. Thompson retained an engineer to prepare a site plan that's included in our materials.
which plan showed the bathroom, and she also retained an architect who prepared plans for a bathroom addition, which I just circulated among the board members, the architectural plans. On October 20th, 2022, the building commissioner denied the application for a building permit and informed Ms. Thomason that she would need to file an application for a special permit from the Board of Appeals. The rear bungalow, which was constructed in 1930, does not comply with the current density and dimensional regulations set forth in Article 6 of the zoning bylaw. However, the rear bungalow qualifies as a pre-existing non-conforming single-family residential structure as defined by Section 1351 of our zoning bylaw. The petitioner seeks a special permit to allow construction of a 6.4-foot by 12-foot, 1-foot addition to the structure to accommodate a full bath and laundry. The proposed addition will not increase any dimensional nonconformity. However, the addition would increase lot coverage and would therefore increase floor area ratio of the structure on the lot. So the engineer's calculations were that the existing lot building coverage was 42.1%, and the requested addition would increase it to 44.8%, by my calculation, about 2.7% increase in the lot coverage. And the FAR percentage will increase from the existing 35.2% to 37.9%. The petitioner states that this modest alteration or extension would not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing nonconformity, and as a result, the petitioner requested this board issue or grant the building a special permit under Section 1352 of the zoning bylaw. One note, although she did buy this property and commence this addition, her dad unfortunately passed away in October of this year. So, but that was the motivation for moving from Onset, where she loved the house that she had, but she couldn't accommodate her dad. So she sold the house in Onset and bought this house, these two houses. So I submit that this, the picture, I believe that the engineer's plans and the architect's plans show the modest nature of this. It's not going to affect any of the neighbors in any significant way, and it's just going to cut down on the size of the patio that they have in the area where she wants to build this, put in a full bath as opposed to the half bath that's in there.
Okay, very well. Sorry for her loss, but it has no impact on the project. So what we have before us is an existing non-conforming, although she's increasing the non-conformity of the FAR, but it's an existing non-conforming. It's gonna move from 35 to 37.9. Also, building coverage, it's existing non-conforming at 42%. She's moving it another 2.8%. Setback, it is what it is. And she's increasing, extending the setback. She's not increasing it, which is she's still in compliance. She still have the 10-foot. I'm gonna ask, I guess Veronica's gone, right? So just four of us. Troy, what do you think?
No, she's still there.
I'm here.
Oh, she's still, oh, good.
You asked her to stay.
Oh, that's nice of you. Okay, so Veronica, what do you think?
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, Troy?
I don't have any problem with it.
Jim?
I don't have a problem particularly with what was put in front of us by the applicant. I do read this letter from a neighbor and feel as though that should be considered before a decision is made.
Right. Richard?
Nothing at this time.
All right. I did see that, by the way, I don't have a problem with the addition personally. I did read the letter from the neighbor. I mean, the things she brought up, or he, I mean, who was it, she or she? I don't see the name.
They don't give their name,
Right.
they call themselves property owners of.
Well, she had an issue with the surveying plan. I hope she's listening or he's listening. The surveyor is a surveyor. If she disagree with the surveyor, she has to hire her own or his own. It is what it is. If we have a stamp in front of us, that's what we're going by. They saying there is no 2 units. On the tax bill, there is 2 units existing. Also, they saying it's parking issue. It's not gonna, adding a bathroom is not gonna, I mean, expanding the bathroom, I don't think it's gonna affect the parking. I mean, it's a bungalow, 1 car is gonna still 1 car. And they mentioned here that they did work without a permit, and they did a deck, all these things, but unfortunately, we're doing the complaint, that's not what before us. That being said, I go back to Jim. If he wants to read it for the record, it's a lot of reading, or he
Well,
wants,
it's-
if
it's
you
a-
read it, if you could.
It's a lot of
point
reading,
something.
and I personally object to reading something in that's, for all intents and purposes, anonymous. The person declined signing it, given their name. They want to be listed as the property owners of, and, you
11.
know, in America, you stand up and you face people and you say who you are, and if you want to be anonymous, then I put that much weight on your objections. None.
Okay, that being said, good enough. We go to the public. Anyone in favor of this project? In favor, none. Anyone against? I hear none. Counselor, before we close, any argument before we close?
I don't think so.
Okay, very well.
Make a motion to close the public portion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Richard. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose, abstain. So it's closed. Veronica, I'm sorry. 5-0. You okay to close, right?
Yes.
This is
Yes.
just closing the public portion.
5-0-0. Okay. Now wishes.
I'll make a motion to grant as requested.
Okay. Motion to grant the special permit with the findings not detrimental to the neighborhood by Jim. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose, abstain. 5-0-0. Carries. Thank you, Counselor. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck.
Good night, thank you.
Okay, we move forward to 46-22, 31 North Street. And that is George Gadisis. Gakis. I'm sorry, I butchered the name.
It's okay.
A lot of people butcher my name, don't
Hand that
bother
over.
me.
Richard, get that off so that it doesn't get cross-filed, that's all right. Only, we're down to 1 to go. Not bad time for the amount of business we did tonight.
Good evening.
I'm still here. I figured I will stay. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but my battery is on low, so hopefully it doesn't die.
At least if we open the public hearing, is good.
I'll make no comments about your batteries.
Okay. Okay.
You have to say something.
I didn't make any comments.
Well, you kind of did.
You did
without doing
it.
All right, Jimmy. That's what made that.
Okay, sorry. We get a change.
Counselor, you here for something?
She's, Bob Perry, you
No,
talking?
no,
Jillian?
Jill, was she waiting for something?
Jillian?
Yeah,
She said she was just observing while she was doing.
she was trying to learn.
That's doing.
Because I see there's,
Sorry, we'll get this read in a minute. Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on December 28th, 2022 at 6:30 PM in Room 320 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center at 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 46-22 for a special permit from the requirements of Article 6, Table 622 and 628 under the Wareham zoning bylaws to George Gagidis, care of GAF Engineering, Inc., of 266 Main Street, Wareham, Mass., proposing construction of a 24-foot by 28-foot garage with an office above located at 31 North Water Street, Wareham, Mass., appears on Wareham Assessors Map 2, Lot 170, in the Onset Village 2 zoning district.
Okay, name and address, sir?
Good morning, good afternoon, members of the board. George Kakidis, GS Design Group, 315 Onset Avenue. Representing Edward Watson, the owner of 31 North Water Street. And we've hired GAF Engineering to address the denial letter from the commissioner in regards to the project.
Very well. Mr. Grady?
Thank you. Brian Gray, GAF Engineering. Does everyone have a plan? Anyone need a plan? I have some extras. So you have the denial letter before you from Paul Turner, stating that a special permit is required to address the proposal for this site. The lot is in the OV2 district. There are existing nonconformities relative to building coverage and floor area ratio, and those will be increased with the construction of the new structure that you see on your plan. As written, the letter addresses this as a special permit because there are existing nonconformities. We are increasing them slightly. You'll see the zoning table on the right side of your plan. Existing building coverage is 23.8%, 20% is allowed. The proposed building coverage will be 32.9%. The existing floor area ratio is 26.1%. After construction, the floor area ratio is 35.2%. And in this district, in the Village District, 20% is the allowed floor area ratio. I will submit for you, I don't think you've received a copy. I have a letter here from the abutter, Clifford Richard, who is located direct abutter to the south at 29 North Water Street at this location. He has a letter here stating he has no objections to the project, and I will submit that to you. Oh, I don't know if you can.
Do you need it read in, or you just want it in the folder?
It's two sentences, so you could read it in, but I'll submit it to you for the folder as well.
Just put it in the folder. You can bring it up after.
Just to make sure everyone in the room for this matter, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just don't want you to be waiting something, because that's the only one left. All right, very well. Just want to make sure.
So, given the commissioner's letter and that this is a special permit, we do not think that this project is detrimental to the neighborhood. Obviously, you're all familiar with Onset, and in this direct area, there are a few detached garages. Granted, they're smaller than this, but this is a mixed neighborhood. There are two-family dwellings, and there are also lots with two dwelling structures on them. So, given the neighborhood and the mix of uses, we do not think that this will be detrimental at all.
Okay, very well. Start by Veronica. What do you think?
So this property is currently used as a single family, and they're looking to make it a two-family with the addition above the garage?
No.
No, they were trying to do, that's an existing non-conforming, they want to add the garage with the office above. Correct, sir?
Yeah, storage, kind of a study.
Study, storage, office, whatever you want to call it. Would that be any plumbing in it upstairs?
Nope.
No
Nope.
plumbing?
In fact, the upstairs is probably 325 square feet of habitable space. The outside walls are 5-foot top plate, so it's not really a, a pleasant space.
Okay. All right, Veronica, you heard this. So now let's hear you. Battery died. Troy?
That was...
Well,
Oh, sorry.
I think the rest of the board is probably,
Yeah, why don't you hear the rest of the board, then you get an idea what we're talking about. Troy?
My only question was going to be about the office and what it was going to be used for. And you answered that.
Yeah.
Okay. Jimmy?
I'm good with it.
Richard?
I'm fine with it.
Okay, I mean, looks good to me, but apparently we have a lot of neighbors here. So before I move to the abutters, do you want to add anything?
Nope.
No? Jim, Brian?
Nothing to add at this time, no.
All right. Now, in the room, who's in favor of this project? Favor, okay, who's in favor can come forward one at a time, state their name. Well, that's a good thing, I thought everybody was against.
Just come up, be bashful, say your name, say your address. It's your one chance for fame.
Microphone before.
We don't have any buzzers or anything. There's not going to be a big red X on the ceiling.
My name is Patricia Jamara, and I live at 31 North Water Street. I'm property owner with Edward Watson. And we just love it here. It's so nice, but, we live here full-time now, and it's our home, and we want to park our cars so they're protected, because we're right, luckily, on the water there, and we want everything to stay protected and clean. And he's taken up the whole living room with his plans and his desk, so it'd be nice to get that above the garage and out of our living space.
Oh, so that's your project, you're not a butter?
No,
It's your
it's our
project, okay.
yeah.
You're the
Okay.
applicant. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Who else would like to speak?
I would like to say something.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi- Hello, my name's Edward Watson, and I live at 31 North Water Street. Like Patrice said, we bought us in March of 2020, and we've fallen in love with the place. We want to live there forever. We have a problem with a wet basement, and we have some really nice stuff that we store, and we were just hoping to get that up above the floodplain and keep our cars protected from the sap of the trees next door and the salt water that blows onto our property. And that's all we want. We just want to put some storage for our cars and our belongings.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one, who's in favor? Name and address, sir?
My name is Howie Kaplan. I live at 6 Sandalwood Lane in Onset. I've had the pleasure of knowing Ed Watson now for well over a year. He's a definite asset in the neighborhood. Last year, when we couldn't get a plow down our street during the winter, he had a plow on his truck and he cleared the street so a neighbor across from me that had a special needs child that had to get to a hospital could get there. I don't find too many neighbors in the area that extend themselves like that. And I think instead of holding somebody down, we should be doing our best to raise people up, because when you have a rising tide, it floats all ships. The addition that he's looking to put on in the neighborhood is going to increase the property value for everybody in the area, which means more revenue for the town.
Very good, thank you, sir. Anyone again, also in favor? Anyone else in favor?
Anybody else want to go on record? Anybody opposed? Sorry.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, come on right. Janice, come on right. My name is Robert Perry. I'm an attorney here in Wareham.
Yep.
I am representing Janice Wenzel, who is immediately across the street from this property and is very much affected by it. She is on the corner of Cove and, what's the other road here?
Candlewood.
There you go. And First of all, I don't think you can do a special permit on this one. I think this one has to be a variance. We're not dealing with Section 13 at all, because we're not dealing with an expansion of an existing residence. And if you're looking at an outbuilding, then 13, I think it's 61 controls, and it has to be an existing building. So if you're building a new building, then I think we're looking at variances on both of these issues. And I spent a lot of time on that. I called Mr. Turner today. He doesn't agree with me. Obviously, Brian doesn't agree with me. Maybe nobody agrees with me, but I've agonized over this bylaw all afternoon, and I really think that I am correct, and you cannot do a special permit on this.
Why? Because you don't think, because it's not
The only way you can
connected?
do a special permit is it comes under Section 13, from what I can see, Article 13.
So if he puts a breezeway, it becomes,
That's not what he's doing, Mazzy. There's any number of things. He could dig out under a cellar and put his trucks under a cellar, and that's a different what if. I'm opposing this project as presented.
but what would the variance you be talking about?
For both lot coverage and FAR.
FAR would be for living space.
Well, that's not the way it's defined in the bylaw. Looking at the definitions, and I don't think it's the way Paul saw it either, by the way. But if you look at the actual definition, I always kind of would have agreed with you without reading it.
But anyway, there's a fundamentalist difference here. So you're saying because it's detached, now it doesn't fall under 13A?
Obviously doesn't fall under 13, it's detached. There's nothing in 13 that would permit you to deal with a detached structure unless it were already existing, and that's 1361.
So you're saying because it's detached, it needs the setback and square footage and frontage, even though it's a grandfather area?
Well, I'm saying that you can't change, give him relief under FAR or impervious coverage without a variance. That's what I'm saying.
I personally disagree with that, but,
You feel as though it could be a special permit?
well, apparently I do agree with the commissioner, because they're not creating a dwelling. It's an accessory structure, like a shed, garage, one of those. So,
It would be an accessory structure under our bylaw, that's correct.
all right, let me just go quick by the board again. Veronica, what do you think of the argument of the counselor?
I remember reading something similar to what he's saying, now that he says it. I don't, but I'm not 100% clear on it. I think because it is new and detached, as you said, that he might be correct.
Troy?
I have no comment right now.
Jimmy?
I'm still confused why the objection exists. Not the minutia of the bylaws and all this. What is it that the neighbor finds objective?
Well,
I'm looking at that aerial photo there, and it looks like we come down North Water Street,
That's the subject
and
property.
we go around the corner, it becomes Cove Street.
Where's your client, Mr.
And then-
Counselor?
And then what's the, right there?
Line is, let me come around here. If I can make it around here.
Yeah, we're gonna
I'm gonna go around the long way.
go the long. So what's the street, what's the driveway coming in? What's the street that the driveway's coming in from?
Let him take his time.
North Water?
North Water, yeah.
Property with the
Okay,
residence.
this is Cove. I can't hear you. Right across the street, looking right now down to the right.
Use the mic behind you, Bob. See the microphone there?
I see it. Yes,
You
you
can feel
look at the
like Bob
top
Barker.
corner of this map here.
Yeah.
That's my client.
Okay, so I get that, so,
So she has a view right across here to the water, to the sunset, the whole business. She's losing all that with this project.
1 second, ma'am.
Yes, if
No,
I could.
Ma'am, you just gotta get I have to give you the floor to
Okay.
speak. I will. Just let me ask question.
I just wanted to show him where you are. You good?
Yes, I'm good.
For me while I'm up here, Nancy?
No, I'm good. Richard, you good?
Can you turn and show me again?
I'm
'Cause
sorry, sure.
I couldn't see.
Right here. This is
All
my
right,
client.
Thank you.
Okay,
She owns these properties. That's, once again, 2 houses on 1 property.
okay. All right, very well. Now, ma'am, I need your name.
Thank you.
Name and address.
Sure. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. My name is Janice Wenzel. My home is 5 Cove Street. I am the abutter who is most affected by this proposed project. As much as I wish Mr. Watson wasn't planning to build a 2-car garage, that is not my objection. My objection, and I am opposing this project based on the size of the structure, which is substantially larger than a standard 2-car garage, the 2nd floor, as well as the planned office over it. By definition, the word office means a room used as a place for commercial or professional work. Although Mr. Watson states he won't be using this space for work, we never know what the future will hold, as he does own his own business and his needs could change in the future. The property at some point in time could be rented out or even sold, potentially creating a business environment. We are a residential community on small lots, many small one-way streets where people come to vacation and spend their free time. In our neighborhood, there is nothing even remotely close to what is being proposed here tonight. I respectfully ask the board to consider restricting the 2nd floor as well as the size of the 2-car garage. I am not objecting to the 2-car garage. I'm objecting to the size of it as well as the 2nd floor. Thank you.
Okay. So, the garage, I mean, I know Suburban's 26 feet, so you need it 28 feet, but what would be your answer to the lady?
So, let me hand this out really quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the side view.
I see.
This is the view I would see. What's he do?
Essentially, we're building a detached accessory building that has a height restriction of 20 feet. We're at 19 feet, approximately 9 inches in height. The 2nd floor space, my client, as he stated, wants it for storage and for not an office, but as more of like a study for him to lay out plans. The 2nd floor basically has 5-foot, 8-inch top plates on the outside wall. So the graphic of the 335 is actually the only habitable space. So in other houses, they might put closets or dormers or anything like that. This is completely open space. So there's no bathroom, there's no ability for him or desire to make this into any kind of a residential space in any way whatsoever. In fact, my client owns the Red Farm Inn in a Little Harbor, where he has a 6-room inn. So he has a real licensed business that he does that already. So this is his home. He has no intention of using it in any other manner than he stated.
So why you have shed dormers?
The shed dormers are just to get a little bit more space, specifically at the stair to clear the headroom.
I may be wrong, but I understand they have 10-foot doors in the garage also. I'm sorry.
1 second.
No, you're wrong.
Counselor,
9 foot?
Excuse me,
Yes,
hello?
One at a time, please.
One at a time, or I'm gonna cut it off. Shed dormers, the stairs, you'll make it without the shed dormers. I am I personally see the way you have the shed, the shed dormers, that's, as the lady's stating, it's a potential future apartment. And I know your client is not gonna do this, but say they sell it or something. If you build it just with the gable, without the shed dormers, I don't see a problem with it.
Well-
But that's my opinion.
Yes, I would respond that, you know, he was doing it for natural light, to get more light in there, and...
Skylights.
If we went to maybe a couple doghouse dormers, that would suffice for him.
How wide?
You know, 5 feet wide, 4 feet wide, out to out. Single double hung window, essentially, you know, 3 feet by 5 feet.
Do you understand what I'm saying, ma'am?
I would find it far more acceptable if there were no dormers. And I think that would be a more appropriate.
Well, another appropriate course of action to expand upon your point, Mr. Chairman, would be to attach this. Therefore, it's no longer an accessory structure. Therefore, we can then go to 35 foot in height, and then it's clearly a special permit. So there is another path to take.
You understand that, ma'am?
I do understand that, and as I said, I'm not objecting to the two-car garage. I'm objecting to the size of it and the height of it.
How about if they put a couple of dormers, not to towards your house, towards the water?
So if it's simply for storage and not an office, which is what's being claimed,
So you gotta direct to speak to
yeah,
us.
I'm just saying, then I would find not having the dormers, because obviously there's not windows looking out at my property. I would find that far more acceptable. If he wanted to put a shed dormer on his side, that might be acceptable, but my side just,
His
Okay.
side, excuse
All
me.
right, so what, okay, go ahead.
His side, my side, which way is this building gonna face? Maybe I'm seeing it different.
Looks like it's facing...
Where's the gable end gonna be on this? Is it gonna be on the street, or is it gonna be, which,
do you,
how does this building sit? Where's the gable end?
The cable ends on opposite the street she's talking about, so it's perpendicular.
So the gable end, she's gonna be looking at the gable end.
No, she's going to be looking at the garage doors.
Oh, so it is, okay, she's, I get what she's saying now.
Richard, you have
I
that?
don't understand the difference on how that changes things.
Just go back to the microphone.
I do.
All right,
So instead of looking at this, she's looking at that.
right, but she don't wanna see those.
Yeah.
All right, Troy, what do you think?
My initial concern was the office above. Is it possible to just do the dormer on the back?
Towards the what?
Towards the water.
house?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
that would be
Veronica,
my
you hear that?
suggestion.
You heard that?
She
Oh,
died.
she lost
Her
her
battery
back.
died.
All right, Richard, what do you think?
So,
I'm hearing, I'm kind of confused, I'm good with it, and at the same time, I'm not. It's almost like I don't know if I can make a decision tonight on it. I'd like to look at it a little bit more.
Like, take a ride?
take a
Okay.
ride by the neighborhood and all that good stuff.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Jimmy, back to you.
I think it's appropriate to continue. I just wanna caution the one party objecting that if the applicant withdraws, they can redesign this and come up with something a lot taller by right.
If they attach it.
It might be worse as far as FAR and lot coverage goes too. So, I mean, you know,
Well,
you
it
can
depends how
suppose
they
any
do it.
number of things. He can do that. He can do that. We'll
But-
be back again.
But it's existing non-conforming. This is the advantage he has.
That's my only comment.
But let me suggest something, maybe it works for everyone. I would suggest her side, you just keep your your roof down, cape, nothing, and you could do a full shed dormer towards North Street, and she won't be looking at windows or nothing.
Well, it's 8-foot doors instead of 9-foot doors, and the height's reduced a little bit, which is a help to her.
A what?
8-foot doors instead of 9-foot doors, and, you know, give her a little relief on the
So-
height.
I'm gonna give you a chance, don't get excited, don't worry.
No, I wouldn't object to the height of the doors. He has a truck. I am not, believe it or not, I really, they're nice neighbors. This isn't about being a bad neighbor. Or I even offered to share some of the architectural fees with him to see if we could design something that would be suitable for both of us.
Okay,
The property that I own has been in our family 60 years. For 40 of those years, there's been the open space allowing me the water. Do I like the fact that he's putting up a garage? Of course I don't. But I understand his reason for putting it up, and I don't object to it. But I certainly don't want what I consider to be a tall structure facing me, because I get the brunt of it. I get the 28-foot width,
yep.
and that's, you know, that's quite a substantial width. That's the size of a small house.
I know,
And so
but-
that's why I want to try to work with him. I don't have any objections to the garage. I'm not the only one here objecting tonight, though,
Okay.
either.
All right,
So I'm willing to work with them. Please know that.
yes. Let me ask you a question. The garage doors, I mean, a garage nowadays, you need, if you put 2 9-foot doors, I'm a builder, that's what my trade. You need the 24 feet. I'm not sticking up for him.
No, he's not trying 24, he's trying 28
Put the
feet wide.
lengths, on the lengths.
No, this way.
Okay,
This way, where the garage doors are, that's going to be 28 feet wide, and it's 24 feet deep.
deep, okay,
So, again, I don't object to the 9-foot doors.
okay.
I really don't. You know, I own an automotive repair business. I get the need for the truck. I'm objecting to the entire size of this structure. 28 feet is really a large structure for a garage.
So what do you like to see it, 24?
I just not, no, I hadn't gotten to that point. I'm happy to work with them. I just want something that's suitable for the neighborhood. There's never been anything this size, and I'm talking about a garage with a second floor in our entire neighborhood. There is nothing. This will be the first. So I will work with them. I will do whatever I can. I'm not objecting to their garage. Please know that.
Okay, so,
Would like it more standardized, though.
thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to respond to the fabric of the neighborhood, because currently,
Get near that mic, it's gotta
Yeah,
go on
Mike,
record.
You can pull the table if you need to, we won't.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I mean, this is essentially the neighborhood. And her, use the mic.
Yeah, just hold it, here we go.
Her property is located right here. She's all three of these guys.
No, there's 2 separate lots, sir.
There's 3
2
structures.
separate lots.
Same mailing address to the assessor's
No,
page.
no, it's 2 different ownerships.
It
Oh,
it
I'm
doesn't
sorry.
really matter, man,
apologize.
that's okay. Go ahead. So that's our property.
So when you actually approach the street from the other end, there's these double buildings on what these were single lots originally. And it just so happens that the last 3 didn't have that happen, but the congestion and the fabric is very tight. In fact, this house is basically right on the street, this house is right on the street, this house is right on the street, and the massing-wise, they're bigger than garages. Let me hand out one more leaflet.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing all these pictures, too.
Can I have that quick, no, actually, I'll share. Go
Yeah, we
ahead.
can share.
So essentially, I wanted you to see kind of what's directly across the street from Mr. Watson's residence. And, I mean, I consider this house as part of the views and massing concern that she's talking about. In picture E, that's the house that's right here. That, you know, I think that was built, Ed, when was that built?
It was built 14 years ago, and a bungalow was torn down, and that house was built on its original footprint, which was required by the town.
One at a time, please.
Apparently, the neighbor who you built the house in front of and built it larger than what was there was very disappointed with the view and the massing.
Sir, that's irrelevant in our matter right now. Let's stick with your matter.
But essentially, you know, this building at that location, massing-wise, matches the fabric of this part of the street and the other end of the neighborhood. So that's really good.
All right. Apparently, we're not gonna turn the vote tonight.
See your photograph.
Board members wanna go look at it. The question is, are you willing, from now until we come back next time, are you willing to talk to the lady, discuss with her what you could do and not do?
Absolutely, but I think you made a great point. If she's willing to have the dormer facing her disappear, and she's okay with the 9-foot doors, you know, maybe we could go to 26 feet in width instead of 28.
How about 24?
That doesn't allow for a stair to
Sir,
get up.
you got, ma'am, let me tell you how it works here.
I apologize,
You
I'm
both of you
sorry.
have to talk to us. You can't talk to each other.
Right.
So anything smaller than 26 feet would not allow for a stair to access the upper level.
Ma'am, your turn.
No, honestly, if it could be postponed to have a better opportunity to try to discuss the options that would be available, if you could see the neighborhood, I would appreciate that. And I would love the opportunity to discuss this further with Mr. Watson and try to come up with something.
Okay.
If that would be possible, I would appreciate that.
It can be possible, absolutely. So this is what I suggest, if everybody agrees. Did you lift your hand, ma'am?
I think there was a gentleman in the back.
Yeah.
You gotta come up, say your name and address, and
We're going to back up for a minute, okay?
Okay, sure.
I may like to be heard further.
So my name is Patricia Jamara, and I live on North Water Street.
Get that mic as close as you can.
And we did already meet with Janice. We went into her home. She comes into our home, but first time she invited us into her home so we could see. And Eddie sent her all the plans, and he sent her everything. And we met with her for about 2 hours on Monday, and she just wants us to postpone it. So I said, well, what is it you want? And she said, I don't know. I have to think about it.
Well, I recommend that you meet again, and by then, hopefully, she knows. Let me explain to you the consequences.
Yeah,
Say today, we say, okay, we're gonna grant it to you.
yeah.
Mr. Councilor Perry very easy can appeal it.
Okay.
He appeals that process. If his theory comes in play, you're dead in the water. If his theory don't come into play, you're looking at 2 years in court. So I strongly recommend you go back with the lady, she was here, I forget her name, I'm sorry, I'm horrible. Janice, and discuss it further. Maybe you could come to an agreement, and that gives us a chance to go drive it. Richard always does. I do most time, but this time I didn't. I went to Cleveland way, the one before. I didn't have time to go the other one, and I'm sure Jim and Troy will go there. We'll drive by, and we'll see you the second Wednesday of January, and then we'll decide. Now, yes, sir, I'm gonna listen to you. Keep in mind, again, I know it's like, I'm not trying to what Councilor Perry could do.
I am, yeah.
Now, on the other side, speaking now to the other side, they could easily put a breezeway, then it's a different story. So it's always good to talk. Give it another talk. I want to listen to the gentleman in the back. Sir, want to come forward? I'm sorry I took the lady before you. I forgot.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Name and address, sir.
My name is Paul Moore, and I live at 3 Cottonwood Ave.
Yep.
And we've owned the property for 41 years. My objection is, this is a garage that's too big for the neighborhood. And when the comment was made, nobody ever came and talked to me. I understand that people have been talked to, you know, view, breeze, all that stuff is not an issue for me. The issue for me is that garage does not fit in the neighborhood. 15 or 20 years ago, that house had a one-car garage, and the slab is still there. So my objection is, if he had talked to people, and maybe even if he had talked to the other person affected more, and come up with some solution, the garage is too big for there. And I would love storage too, okay? But I'm surely not gonna be able to build a garage. I plan on giving my house to my grandchildren.
Maybe they will.
Right. And Onset has been great. Our neighborhoods have gone through a lot. It's only been the last maybe 5, 6, 8 years that everyone that buys their property fixes it up. So my objection is that garage is too big for that area. There isn't a garage like that anywhere in the neighborhood. And when you people drive it, you'll
I
see
know,
that.
I totally understand, but nowadays, everybody got 2 cars, everybody got a lawnmower, everybody got an ATV. And if you have a Tahoe, you need 24 feet long, or a Suburban. But then again, let's give it another round of talk. Apparently, the board is not willing to make a vote today. Give it another round of talk, and I won every party, so they have advantage, and you guys have advantage. You still want to speak, sir?
I would love to talk.
All right, just give us a minute.
No, I just think, like I said, if they want to meet, talk.
Yes.
I'm just saying that I think the garage is too big.
Okay, but listen, if Janice, we gotta hear, you can't talk. It'll be great, but make no mistake, it's not mandatory. If they don't want to speak, they don't want to talk,
I
they don't want
understand
to
that.
talk. So, but it'll be nice, because they're neighbors anyway, it'll be good to talk. You all set?
Yes.
Thank you. Sir, come back forward. Again, your name and address. Unfortunately, you gotta say every time.
Thank you for hearing me again. My name is Edward Watson. I live at 31 North Water Street. I've grown up in this town. I'm 62 years old. I went to middle school in this building right here. My mother lives a 5-minute walk away. My brother lives a 2-minute walk away. And luckily, my fiance and I were able to purchase this property, which we adore. My mother actually rented Janice's house back in 1970, and we lived there for 2 winters. All of those houses were basically summer houses. And yes, the single-car garage was a 1-car garage that fit a Model T, okay? So, you know, now we just want to build a 2-car garage, which a standard 2-car garage is 24 by 24. The only thing was we need a set of stairs to go up so we can store, you know, stuff that's in this basement that is wet all the time. I don't care about an office. I don't care about the dormers on the front, but it would be nice to have a shed dormer in the back just to let some light in. So I don't need an office. I don't care about that. I want storage, and that's all. And a set of stairs, instead of having an outside set of stairs that are ugly, I'll have the stairs inside it. So if we could fit 2 cars in and a set of stairs, that's all I want. I don't want anything massive or big.
All right, I understand. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, who's on Zoom? Pam. Name and address, Pam.
This is Veronica Debonese. I'm using her phone. I've been listening.
Okay. All right, Veronica, go ahead. You've been listening?
I've been listening. I don't have any comments at the moment. I've just wanted to let you know I'm here and listening.
All right, thank you. So I guess that's where we're headed. Let's another round of talk, see what you could get. If you come to an agreement, fine, but like I said, you have advantages, they have advantages. I would just, what?
Well, I'm just asking how much time they would need for a continuance.
I don't think we need that much time. I would say 2 weeks.
Okay. Is the whole board good with that?
January 11th?
Yeah.
So that was my question. Patricia Jamara at 31 North
What's your
Water Street.
question?
Like, can we put a time frame on this?
Time frame, well, there's no
Because
time frame.
We've already had 3 discussions with Janice.
Listen, it's not mandatory, he said.
Oh, I
You
see.
could talk
Okay.
or you don't talk.
I
But
see.
we're gonna see you back in January 11.
Okay.
It ends when we say it ends.
I see.
That's how it
Okay.
works, unfortunately.
I never did this before, so
Okay, so
thanks.
try to work it out. If not, we'll see you next time and we'll take a ride.
One thing,
Go ahead.
if between now and January 11th, you guys decide that you're gonna attach this to your house and make a whole different plan, will you need additional time?
No.
You got somebody that can draw it up pretty quick, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I just didn't wanna, string everybody in the neighborhood along, if they come.
Difficult, I mean, it would have to be submitted to the building
Counselor, come to the mic.
brought back.
Counselor, can I come?
You know, they make that, well, we can always address it that night, and they can get more time if they need it, and we can get more time to object if we need it.
Exactly. There's no
Plans
sense.
would have to go to the building commissioner, I would think.
We're just speculating right now
I
that they'll
gotcha.
come with
I
that.
gotcha.
So we'll leave it at that.
So I make a motion to continue to January 11th.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Richard. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Oppose, abstain. So we'll see you January 11.
So is that vote 4-0-0?
500. Veronica.
Vote- Did she
Veronica's
vote?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Veronica, we put you down as agreeing to the continuance.
No, I heard it. She said yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to be sure. I didn't hear her, so I didn't know you heard her. Sorry. Are we done? Anything else
Did I
to
forget to give you that?
to discuss? There's nothing on the agenda.
That's charge pond. That's not the one I just gave you.
Oh, okay.
I think I forgot to give it to you earlier.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you all. Good night, good evening.
Happy New Year.
Nice to see the process.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. All right, you guys want to discuss anything?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Have a second? No?
No.
I'll second.
I'm tired of seconding.
I thought you
I
wanted to
keep
discuss.
waiting and waiting and waiting
Wanna
and
keep
waiting,
talking.
I don't want to be the only guy. I think we're aboard, you know what I
Favor, say
mean?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Oppose, abstain. Thank you, Bob.
Bye, bye.
Bye, thank you, Veronica, very much.
Night, Veronica. Happy New Year.
Veronica.
See you guys next time.
Hope you
Have a good New Year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.